Welcome to the University of Notre Dame, where today Virginia will take on the 8th-ranked Fighting Irish. I'm Tim O'Malley with Tim Prister of Irish Illustrated, John Brice of the Football Scoop, and Irish Illustrated Instant Analysis, as always, is brought to you by the RV Manufactured Housing Hall of Fame in Elkhart, Indiana. Tim Prister, you did identify this as a trap game, but you see the strengths Virginia possesses, and one of them is in direct contrast, or maybe a benefit, to a potential Notre Dame weakness today, and a minor weakness for the defense all season.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen good running teams, good rushing teams have success against interior of Notre Dame's defensive line, and the interior of Notre Dame's defensive line is handicapped a little bit today without Howard Cross III. Kobe Pace and Xavier Brown are capable of gashing them a little bit. So we'll see. Generally, what happens is they do it in the first quarter or maybe just the opening series, and then after that, Notre Dame adjusts. But a little bit more difficult today adjusting without Howard Cross.
A major weakness for Virginia is playing into a strength for Notre Dame. Virginia is 116th in sack rate allowed. 92nd and combined third and fourth down conversions, and the Irish are attacking the quarterback, attacking the pocket, and getting better and better on third and fourth down.
Great point, T.O., and something I talked with people on campus about later this week. Obviously, Notre Dame is a bit depleted on that interior of its line, but Donovan Heinisch had a really, really good week of practice. This coaching staff just loves his motor. No shock there. He's just like his brother in that regard. But they see him improving literally on almost a daily basis. And as a coach, not pertaining to Notre Dame, but told me earlier this season, we've got to take their souls early. So Notre Dame needs to get off to a fast start, not allow hope to manifest itself for the Cavs.
Tim, I think a real key point here for Notre Dame today is keep Anthony Calandrea in the pocket. He wants to escape on the outside, obviously, just the way Riley Leonard wants to. Sometimes he's his own worst enemy. What I've seen this week is a decent offensive line, a veteran offensive line, but Calandrea takes a lot of sacks. So we know from 5 years ago when Virginia comes to town, Notre Dame's sack game is in play. 5 years ago, Virginia was undefeated when they came to Notre Dame. And just like last week when Notre Dame had 8 sacks against Florida State, Bryce Perkins was sacked 8 times in 2019.
Offensively, Notre Dame has scored at least 4 touchdowns in every game since that Northern Illinois loss, with the exception of Georgia Tech, where they had a defensive touchdown. I mean, I would expect that today against Virginia, largely because the running game continues to improve. Jadarian Price had his best day last week. And Jaden Greathouse and Mitchell Evans are now Jaden Greathouse and Mitchell Evans that we were looking forward to. A healthy Mitchell Evans and Greathouse coming along as he was projected our number one receiver, I think, for all three of us this year.
And maybe the thing that illustrates Notre Dame's offensive growth as much is just right then you didn't mention Jeremiah Love, and he was paced a little bit last week. I think Jeremiah Love is poised for a really big game today. Notre Dame's offense has continued to evolve. Notre Dame's offense has a lot of weapons. I know we've gotten questions about why this player hasn't gotten more receptions or that player hasn't gotten more receptions. Well, it's because they might throw the ball to 8 different receivers on any given Saturday, including the tight ends. And so I think Notre Dame's offensive diversity is a key, but I do like Jeremiah Love today.
To build upon that, John, Notre Dame only has 12 passing touchdowns, 9 by Riley Leonard and 3 by the backup Steve Angeli. But those 12 touchdown passes have gone to 10 different players, so that accentuates what you're saying. There isn't one guy that they're going to force feed the football to, a la Malachi Fields for Virginia, who they like to get the football to. And that's, ultimately you'd like to have one great go-to guy, but it's also nice to be able to spread the football around, and Virginia can't focus in on one guy.
I think Virginia needs to force a couple of turnovers and not commit them to win. They have to run the ball patiently and persistently and be okay with punting after not turning the ball over, not putting Calandrea in third down situations. But what is something else the defense can do to give Notre Dame? They're good for probably 2 very inefficient drives in the first half, another one in the second half. Can they make it so there's 3, 4, 5 inefficient drives? Because it's been a while since that happened to Riley Leonard in the Irish offense.
Yeah, and to me, that's why a field position today is so key. Notre Dame, as weird as it is to say, and you don't want to see them punting much, but you need a better day out of James Rendell so that you can own field position. I think that's a big key. When we see Notre Dame's offense bogged down, a lot of times it's because opponents have gotten their one score basically that they get, and then Notre Dame has to come out and march the field. I think Notre Dame needs some short fields today.
You'd like to neutralize Jonas Sanker, their safety. Is a very good player. Their linebacker core is really big. They got a bunch of 230, 235 pounders. We'll see how they do in coverage. And then, there's a little bit of pass rush from Virginia, but Notre Dame's offensive line has come together. I think they can keep them at bay. What I'm trying to get to is this could be a really big day for Notre Dame offensively.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, to that point, T.O., that's why I like Mitchell Evans as well today. He's a matchup nightmare for a lot of teams, but these are some bigger linebackers, as you alluded to, that are more built for run stuffing than they are for coverage, especially in the seam.
This has been Irish Illustrated Instant Analysis, brought to you by the RV Manufactured Housing Hall of Fame in Elkhart, and we'll be back post-game with more instant analysis after probably a long senior day post-game. Congratulations to Jack Kaiser, who, in good health, will play his 63rd game today, breaking a Fighting Irish record.